Honourable the Minister of Human Settlements.
Thank you very much, Honourable Madam Deputy Speaker, Honourable President, Honourable Deputy President, Honourable members, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Deputy Speaker, to partake in this important debate following a historic and a groundbreaking State of the Nation address. Honourable President, today's debate coincides with the 35 years release of Madiba from prison. President, you provided, like a statesman, a true statesman, a formalistic, succinct speech befitting of who you are. It's a pity that some had very little of it. We accept even that the ANC gains of governance are now personalized today. In some of the years, they belong to one person alone. Honorable Boshoff, transformation cannot only be determined by you. We will determine it jointly, and the transformation fund will go on. If there's nothing that you hate and hate more, it's transformation, and you don't want to see it. Honorable Trump, wherever he sits, has invited you to come and be with him. Go, that's the country that does not need transformation. We need transformation. Honorable Trolley, delusional is you. The president is not delusional. You remain out of the XNSA, out of the GNU, because your friends put you into a minshot, bakushiyulele upemile. Honorable Groenewald, I was born in Petal, the only farming town. The only thing we do in Petal until today is farming. It went to an extent of killing people and putting them underground. The reason why farmers survived before CASP and are still surviving today, it is because of the funds that they were getting annual. Black people and black farmers are successful. Maybe what you should be suggesting is we need to give them more money annually for all those institutional programs to succeed. They are not failures. Honorable Malema, you read part of what President Cyril Ramaphosa said. Let me remind you one thing he said, for example, in the 2024 SONA. He said he will introduce the finance-linked individual subsidy program, which was knownly FLIPS at the time. Today we call it First Home Finances. And as we speak, families between 3,500 and 22,000, 5,082 of them are first-time home owners assisted by the government of Cyril Ramaphosa after they've been neglected by commercial banks. In the year 2024-25, Honorable President, we are intending to upgrade that program and touch the lives of black people to 140,000. We are partnering with all the Phison Connects Corporation. We are now taking this area to rural areas, this program rather. And we would like to thank the National House of Traditional Leaders, eThekwini eNanda, and the local municipalities, Umlamuli, are already giving us traditional land where we'll finance our black people in rural areas to be first-time home owners. You spoke about a distribution of land here. We are participating in student accommodation here in the city of Cape Town. Our kids were toy-toying yesterday. But we have already approved 2 settlements of ensuring that student accommodation happens, one in Pela and one in Palo. About 927. Now let me remind you, Democratic Alliance. You only build when there's a constitutional court outcome. I will give you the statistics of how correctly and goodly are you failing to provide human services.
Orders.
Bendilindel.
Honourable member at the podium, please take your seat.
Deputy
Honourable
Speaker,
member.
this person is speaking like she's in a coffee shop. We're not in a coffee shop here. Please.
Honourable
Whatever
member.
she drank, she can't bring it here.
Honourable
I can
member.
smell it from here, please.
Honourable member.
We're not in a
please withdraw
shebeen here,
that.
please, man.
Honourable member at the podium, please proceed.
Honorable Pambo, try better. Usemfana omncane kakhulu. Practice politics uzawuza next year. They will give you the stage next year. Not now. Awuna podium uyingane encane. So listen to me as I deal with how the Democratic Alliance is failing to demarcate land. The Bronwell Court outcome at the Constitutional Court just 2 weeks ago show who you are. Forced evictions, taking people out of the community settlements in town, throwing them to 30 kilometers away. Is that the first court outcome? No. The commando outcome, housing, also Constitutional Court. Hambani said a transformation fund to the Constitutional Court. Nizawustall. Because contradiction can only be determined by you. As I'm about to conclude, I would like to ground off how you do not spend. In 2023 and 2024, Western Cape is Nambamsila. We took back 250 million, which you couldn't spend, and you should have built houses at Danone every December. In our housing development grant, as we speak, you are at 41%, you are likely to lose over 300 million. Go and house people correctly. In the informal settlement grant, you are at 20%. Again, you are going to send money back. Where are the provinces? Limpopo, 64%, KZN, 86%. A national refund where you took back 222 million still screams at you. There's no time to waste. South African wants us to fundamentally change, and we will never be dictated by those who think change can only be determined by them. Yes, I had a coffee shop because Ramaphosa had no finance scheme then. So I apply and go depend.
I now invite the Honourable Zibi. Order, members. Order, members. Honourable members, I have already called the next speaker. Order. Honourable Zibi.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Madam Deputy Speaker, I wanted to talk about domestic issues, given the importance of the issues we have to deal with domestically. But we are living in strange times. The U.S. Embassy in South Africa has issued a statement that they are closely monitoring land and farm seizures in South Africa and remain committed to fair and just resolutions. This is obviously untrue. It's a lie, as are many statements the second Trump administration makes about other countries and agencies of the U.S. government itself, such as USAID. These untruths have led to decisions affecting 17% of our HIV/AIDS funding and 15,000 jobs in the related sector. So these are not for casual observation, but deadly serious for us and other developing nations. This is an administration that engages in acts of bullying, such as the use of tariffs and other punishments our international partners like Canada, Mexico, and China have had to endure just in the last 2 weeks alone. We are not exempt from this new dystopian world. The U.S. is one of our largest trading partners, and so this affects the state of our nation in the immediate future. In 2024, we exported 157 billion rand in goods and services to the U.S., while importing just over 120 billion. Mineral product and chemical imports from the U.S. into South Africa amounted to 35 billion, while we exported over 20 billion rand of the same. Exports of vehicles, aircraft, and the like amounted to 35 billion. There are tens of thousands of jobs involved and many more livelihoods. We are joined at the hip, but this deep relationship is about to undergo serious strain, with potentially devastating consequences for South Africa's economy and jobs. Mr. President, we must not be caught napping It is only a matter of time before we are removed from the AGOA arrangement and God knows what other consequence. Now is the time to build export and foreign exchange earning streams and to guard jealously trade and other relationships we already have elsewhere in the world. We must act with urgency and speed while being calm and considered in how we respond to a clearly irrational administration across the Atlantic. After all, it is this new government rather than the American people in general that want to break apart an enduring relationship built over the decades. Mr. President, we must also consider what is going on in this proper context. There is a concerted effort to undermine democracy, democratic accountability, and an inclusive, equitable world. Social media platforms are being used by that former South African and others to undermine democracy internationally by spreading dangerous misinformation. The truth and accuracy of information are fundamental blocks of democracy, and they are being taken apart daily here in the US and elsewhere. These tech companies no longer do any fact-checking, with dangerous consequences. National consensus on key policy matters is not possible when millions exist in an imaginary universe, such as they are creating. We must use statute and regulation to force them to do fact-checking here or stay out of our country. I am sorry that these previously unimportant matters are coming to the fore on an occasion like this, but complacency is too expensive. What we see unfolding in the US is proof of that. We must act now to protect our economic interest, internal stability, and democracy in general. I also wish to say to those who want to use the opportunity presented by a racist right-wing government in the US to create further problems for us here in South Africa, these are people who do not care about you. They only care about their domestic agenda. We must focus on fixing our own country and building the society we all deserve. I thank you.
Honourable the Minister of Home Affairs.